Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Micah Let's Play, and guess who I am? I'm Micah, because who else would I be? You already know I'm the true heir of Slytherin, so we just gonna bypass that part, but as long as you know. Guys, today I'm really excited. We're gonna take a little bit of a deep dive behind the music, not literally behind the music, but with the music video we got for Hogwarts Legacy. First and foremost, I just have to say, the music in this video was just beautiful. I love it so much, and I got very emotional listening to it. I was actually doing a reaction, and because I had like an ugly cry, I scrapped the project because I don't think anybody want to see that. So, you know, it was like, the music is just really beautiful, and it invoked a lot of emotions and a lot of memories and a lot of really good memories about, you know, my life growing up and all that stuff. So I scrapped that project. So in this video, we're gonna take a deep dive and look at all of the amazing content and also the stuff like the scenes, the insight, well, not insight, the game, the backgrounds. Oh my god, I'm losing my track of thought and of words in English because, you know, I was so blown away at the music. The music is just beautiful, and Chuck E. Myers was the lead composer for this. And again, if you randomly see this Chuck, mwah, chef kiss, so good. Like, my brain is still trying to put itself back together after exploding with all that awesome music, you know. And the music video was just wonderful. I don't know, have you guys seen the music video? And if you have or you haven't, the link will be in the video description, so I highly recommend that you check it out for yourself and just listen. I think they did a good job at just like showing us this music in a way, how do I want to word this? Like, the music inspired like new wonder and excitement, like what they wanted, but also it invokes so many old feelings of nostalgia. And I tweeted it earlier. If I can find the tweet, I'll put it up on screen so you can see it right here. Yeah, so it was just, I had so many feelings when I heard the music. And, you know, what feelings did you guys have hearing the music? Did you have the same, you know, emotional resonance with it? I guess that's the best way to put it. So anywho, I'm gonna stop talking so we can jump into this, because that's why you guys are here, right? So I have muted the music because I don't want you know, copyright claims or anything, but yeah, I think this is so good. And I love that you see in this opening scene here, you get to see the castle right here. So you're seeing outside of the Great Hall with the headmasters. I believe this is the Great Hall. I could be wrong because the Great Hall actually had like moons on it, so maybe this is another part of the castle. But I think this is an image from when they announced the delay for Hogwarts Legacy, so I think that's what this is. So scratch what I said earlier, not Great Hall. This is when they announced the new date, which was February 10th. You know, and make sure you pre-ordered the game if you haven't already, because I'm really excited. I can't wait to see everyone's different versions of the game and hear their own stories of how they played it. And again, I really love the Seven Springs Symphony. I think they just did such a great job with this music. I'm so sorry, my words, I'm fumbling with my words. Okay, so the first scene we see here is the Hogwarts castle. And what I like about it is that it looks like they added more greenery. I think this is a different angle from the original State of Play, when you see the character walking up on the hill and the guy said, "Welcome to Hogwarts," you know? And it looks like it's another angle from that. Like, it's kind of like the same thing, but it's like a little further away, and you get to see, you know, it looks like the graphics got a nice bit of polishing. Again, to the Avalanche team, you guys are just knocking it out of the park with these graphics. They're so good. Just like with the teacher, like all of the professor cards, you could tell the graphics got an upgrade from the original. Like when you first saw Sebastian, Natsai, and Poppy, you could tell the graphics looked better, but when you saw Professor Hecate, Professor Hecate, her card, you could tell like the graphics had been turned up to an 11. And again, you could tell with this music video what they've done, because when you look at the ASMR videos, one, they're all gorgeous, but you could tell with this most recent ASMR video, you can tell they really cranked it up. And again, I loved it. I actually did an ASMR video, my very first one, and I was surprised at the response. I didn't think it would do that well. It got a lot of views. People have left a lot of really nice comments on there. And like I said, it's my first time ever doing something like that, and it's not something I was planning on doing. You know, I just did it randomly because I was inspired by Magic Maestro, him right here, and his link will also be in the video description, so check him out. He has really cool content. He actually did a really good video on the multiple endings of the game, which I thought was excellent, and also his ASMR video, which inspired me to do mine. Check it out as well. It's really good stuff. I was very, very, very impressed. But let's move on, because you guys, again, are here to talk about the world of Hogwarts. Okay, and again, just look at this. So, like I said, this is a further away shot that we get to see that is just amazing. I think it looks so beautiful. It looks so good. I love the clouds, and also in this behind the scenes, you get to see we get to jump on a broomstick and just fly. We can literally jump and just fly. That to me was one of the coolest things ever. I was kind of hoping we would get that, and now to know that we can literally look at a ledge and be like, you know what, I bumped this, I'm jumping, you know, and I'm going for a ride, you know, and I think that's so cool. So the fact that we have that, it's like, yes, you know, Overturn the Unwritten. I love the name of the song. It's so beautiful. It's so well done. And then now we get to see the clock tower, and you remember in the let's go back a little further. Let's kind of fix that a little bit. Let's get right there. Okay, now you guys will remember that when they were doing the gameplay showcase, God, my words, the gameplay showcase, we actually did the Crosswands Dueling Club in here with Lucan, and you got to see Natsai and Sebastian in the background. And you can tell, again, even from when you got to see the announcement for it, where you got to see, you know, Expecto Ghost's character running in, and you saw the pendulum swinging back and forth in this astronomical clock tower. And I really like it, because you could tell, again, the graphics have been polished. They look even better. And you know what I actually want to do really quickly? Yes, yeah, so it's in, yeah, I just want to make sure the graphics look the best that I can have them on my laptop. But you could tell, again, the graphics have been fine-tuned, have been sharpened, and again, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a crescent moon there, you know, crescent moon. Again, there's so much, I forget the right word for it, visual, not stimulation, but like visual storytelling within the castle of Hogwarts. And again, I am just, I love it. So now let's continue. And you see the team is, again, not the team, the orchestra is just doing their job. And you get to see this right here. You get to see outside of the clock tower. And you get this scene right here. Look at this. So this is the same scene like after you did the Crosswand Dueling Club and Expecto Go was running outside. Well, he wasn't actually playing, the guy Andrew was playing, but it was Expecto Go as a Hogwarts character. You got to see this courtyard as the character began to run across the wooden bridge onto the grounds outside of Hogwarts. And this just looks so good. I mean, the attention to detail and the way this look, it makes me feel like I'm watching the movies, you know. And I remember in the third movie when we got to see more of the grounds outside of Hogwarts, where we got to see the bridge that led to Hagrid, that led to his home, to the grounds outside, where you got to see Hermione punch Malfoy against the standing stones. Like, again, like, it's just those little things that make this even more beautiful and amazing, and it just it transports you there. It's like you're physically there, even though this is a video game. And it just goes to show, again, to Boston, who was one of the architectural directors for this, the lead, I believe she was the lead on that, just did a wonderful job at recreating what they did with the movies, but creating that connective tissue to expand on what we got to see from the movies, what we learned from the books, but now what we get to experience by playing Hogwarts Legacy. So yeah, again, this is just so good. So good. And again, the music is just so good. It just makes me so happy listening to it. And it just makes me feel so many wonderful positive things. And I'll touch on what this video made me feel like as we go further into this. So we're gonna skip along a little bit, so this is not too long. But look at this. This is the grand staircase, you know, that was originally described to be in a tower like it was in the books. And you'll remember in the original trailer, as well as in the state of play, you got to see the stairs just moving and coming to life, and I can't wait to do all of that. And you see the flying books everywhere. It's really cool. You see all the paintings. I wonder, is Merlin's painting somewhere in here in the grand staircase? I'm just curious. But yeah, I just think this is incredible. It looks so good. You could tell, even from when they showed it on Twitter, when they showed it in day and night, you could tell like they've been refining and polishing everything. And I love the fact that you see all the books and all the paintings. You see Merlin right here. Like I said, I wonder if Merlin is here, and he's literally right here. And I think that's really cool. And I just can't wait to walk on the staircase and watch it move while I'm on it. You know, so good. The third corridor, I believe Magic Maestro, he tweeted it at me. If I can find it, here it is on screen. He asked me, Nightly Nerd and some others, hey, is this the third floor corridor? And it looks like it. So Magic Maestro, if you're watching, yeah, I think it is, because it looks very similar to what we see in the movies and the way it's described in the books. And again, I love, you see like all the ivy and everything. It's so good. I cannot wait to walk in this hallway. And then you notice here, there's like a statue right here. And again, this, I don't know if you guys can see the wall, but it looks like that's like a moon with like in front of the sun, the way it's designed. Again, I can't find the word. If you know the word, I'm trying to say it in the comments. Say it in the comment section down below. But the visual, the way it looks is like a moon. The way the bottom half is made is like blocking the sun, and you see the rays of the sun popping out. So if you haven't seen my theory on ancient cosmic magic for Merlin and Morgana, the magic word of the day, in that video I talk about how they might have been able to create a solar eclipse for a very specific reason, and I think this might be talking about it. But the statue of this person here, I don't know who this is, and you notice there's a brazier here, so maybe if you cast magic there, maybe it'll light the flame, it'll light the pyre, and maybe it'll reveal a secret, because remember, the castle is riddled with secrets. So, or it's just jam-packed with secrets, and I'm excited to explore them all. So I like how, again, there's constant symbolism, that's the word I was looking for, of the moon, stars, and the sun over and over and over again. That is the word I'm looking for. Oh my God, I swear, guys, Micah is old, so this is why I forget things. But let's continue. And then let's go back to the ancient magic right here with Merlin and Morgana. This is what inspired the video when I saw this in the gameplay showcase. When I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God, this is not just a window. This is telling a story. Like I said, the entire castle tells you a story, because the castle is sentient, and you know, it's its own character. So when I first saw this, I was like, what is this? Like, wait, Andrew, don't tease me. Let me look at this, you know, and you get to see it in such spectacular view. And I just love the way it looks. It just looks so good. It's so beautiful. So many good things here. Oh, and then this is the hub, or as Boston said, basically like the Grand Central Station where we get to see everything. So just on the other side of that, it is the greenhouses, and also in the state of, also in the gameplay showcase. Remember, there are people in here that actually have quest markers, and on the other side, remember, there's that door with all the magical beast on it, and then there's the Transfiguration Courtyard, which I'm really excited about. And there's just so many really cool things, and this is just beautiful. Just look at that. Like, holy bananas. And on the other side, you know, right here, the sleeping dragon, but in there is the is the Jesus, it's the library. And we'll talk a little bit more on the library as we go further into this, because there was a new trailer at the CCXP, basically the Comic-Con in Brazil, and it was just, not basically, it was the Comic-Con in Brazil, but yeah, just so good, and it's just so beautiful. And you get to see this beautiful statue here of werewolves and a unicorn. Poor unicorn, I hope she fights back. And I hope we can ride a unicorn, because in the CCXP you get to see the character pull out his Newt Scamander bag, and a grap horn jumps out of it, and you can ride it, and he's just demolishing the goblins and dark wizards on that bridge. And we get to see that bridge later in this video. And again, I just love it. Oh, and look, if you look right here, where my mouse cursor is, that I think is a statue of that female statue of Lady Morgana, and we'll see her later as we go further into this. But yeah, I hope we get to ride a unicorn. I know they prefer the female touch, but you know, I still hope we get that opportunity. Even if we're, and I hope they hold true to that bit of lore. Like if you're a male, you know, and you're a wizard, that the unicorn's a little bit more standoffish, but if you're a witch, you know, or female in female form, the unicorn is more receptive to you. I think that would be a nice bit of touch of lore. Don't know if they'll do that. You know, we have to temper our expectations for Hogwarts Legacy, because I know there's so many people, myself and many others, are really excited for this game. And as long as we temper our expectations of what we'll actually get when we play the game, I think a lot of people will be very satisfied. And I think based on the music alone and the way this game scenes, I think it's going to set a bar for storytelling for future games. And I just think they did such a good job. So let's continue with our exploration of this. And if there are things you guys are noticing that I'm not pointing out, let me know in the comment section so we can have an educated discussion. And once again, we get to see what I like to think of as Atricel, the tree of the Vikings. Basically, the tree of the nine realms is basically in Norse mythology, and I've noticed that's a lot of, especially when you look at the runes, it's very similar to Norse mythology, not iconography and not ideology, symbolism, the way things are carved, the architecture and design of things. I could tell they took a lot of inspiration from Norse mythology, and I think it plays very well in this game and within the world of Harry Potter, or the wizarding world, so to speak. Okay, and we're just gonna skip past all this. More gorgeous. And now you get to see Hogsmeade! Oh my god! Like, just look at that. Just look at that. Like, so good. It just, again, for one, I know my cursor's in the way and you saw the YouTube stuff is in the way, but literally this looks like a goddamn painting, like as if someone sat down and they just painted this. And I like that is the design of the world that everyone kind of has, even though they have, like, you know, hyper realistic features with the characters. But just when you see the backgrounds, it literally looks like someone sat down and painted this. And, you know, I'm an artist. I'm not at this level, but I love art like this because it invokes feelings. And then when you hear it with the music, and then imagine when you're playing it and you're walking as this character, and then you start to hear the background sounds, your character walking, the birds chirping, like with the ASMR, and then you hear the music. It's just gonna transport you there, and it's just gonna make you feel all the good, happy feelings of a Hogwarts game that a game like this should do. And I just love it. I love seeing the smoke from the chimney. And also, of course, some of you may not realize this because the tree's in the way, but this is the entrance to Hogsmeade. So when you see in the state of play, when the character's walking across the bridge and you see that entrance, just like in the original trailer, you see the entrance to Hogsmeade. That's what this is right here. And again, so beautiful. And I cannot wait to see this at night. This right here. There are so many things to look at. One, to my good buddy, Magic Maestro, I know you've heard his name several times, but he and I were having an educated discussion on the Twitters about the things we were seeing here, and he mentioned how the bouncing treats were a little creepy to him. For me, I think it just made it more charming and made it seem more magical and whimsical to me because it's like a candy shop. at Honeydews, where you see all these little things happening in Hogsmeade. So for me, I really liked it. But what I want to know is, some of you guys agree with him? Do you find that a little like, oh, unjarring, because you see like the jumpy, jarry animations of the food and everything bouncing around? I just want to know, because because if it makes you feel that way, then it's like, I respect you for your opinion. I'm just curious to know if other people felt the same way. And then of course you see the founder of Hogsmeade there. I forget his actual name, but that is the founder of Hogsmeade, with this beautiful tree. Just look at that, and look at the little hanging lantern. So good. And this looks like this is autumn right here, because based on the way the tree looks and the way the lantern look, it looks like it still might be in autumn. So beautiful. And you get to see this water wheel here, so I'm wondering what that might be attached to. And is it enchanted? Like, I'm pretty sure everything here is enchanted, but I'm wondering, I just want to see what's over there. And again, I just love this level of detail, and it just makes you think about each time the characters go to Hogsmeade. When you were in the book and Harry met with Cho at the tea house, or when Hermione and Ron were going, when Harry Potter couldn't go because his uncle did not sign the permission slip. And you think about this, and again, it just invokes so many fun things, and it makes me think about when I went to school. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this term, grad night, when you are getting ready to graduate from high school. My school, what they did for us, instead of allowing us to go to a place like this, they allowed us to go to a place similar to this, which was Magic Mountain. And all of the seniors in high school get to go on this trip. Of course, you have to pay for permission slips and all that stuff. And a lot of you as well know what I'm talking about when it comes to grand night, graduation night, or grad night. You get to go to this, and then also you get to go to Disneyland as well. And me and my wife at the time when we were in high school, we went to a place like this. We went to Magic Mountain, or, well, it's actually called Six Flags, but the area it's in is called Magic Mountain. And those of you who live in the United States and know what I'm talking about when it comes to Six Flags, yeah, it was just a lot of fun. And seeing this just reminded me of all those things that we experienced as children. So again, there were a lot of emotions that I felt when watching. That's why I had an ugly cry, and I just could not show y'all that. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it to y'all, because that would just been cruel. Okay, people don't know what the background is here. I think this is just imagery. This could be a glacier, or this could be a representation of ancient magic. This background here, this looks like it could be inside of ice, like it's going through ice, or it's going through ancient magic, or it could be in the inner workings of a pensive. So, and it looks like these are rocks. That's why I kind of thought like maybe ice glaciers, the way things kind of look. But I think this is just background setting, but I could be wrong, but that could be that. And again, once again, it just looks like a painting, like a three-dimensional painting. And it's just, again, so beautiful. And I love the colors. The colors are, even though these are like cool colors, but they invoke like a joyful feeling, because it's blue, and blue is very calming. Color theory. I think this is the part where you're inside Gringotts. Yes. I love this here, and you could tell this got an upgrade, and you could tell it's a different avatar from the original state of play. And this looks like this will be a fun ride. I have not been to Universal Studios Hogwarts, area, even though I live in California and it's not that far from me. I've never gone. Me and my wife are planning on doing it for this holiday season, and if I do, I'll videotape it. That's how you know I'm old as fuck. I'll vlog it and upload it on my channel. But I like this detail, and I like how it's swooshed. It's just like a ride, And the reason why I mentioned the whole ride in Universal Studios Hogwarts Land, basically, is like it looks like a ride. So I wonder, is this a ride there? Because like I said, I've never been, and I should go. Because again, I have my wand and it's at the ready, so I should go. But anywho, let's continue. And this is the ancient magic. When you hear that brung, you hear that ancient magic, and you see the swirling there. Now, if you notice behind him, this looks like this is a floor of some sort. I wonder, is this the area where does this turn into the map area where you and Professor Fig are, and we'll see that area in just a minute. But when I noticed this, I was like, oh, what is this? What is that representative? Is that the statue of Merlin? Is like a teardrop, or maybe you do a spell and it unlocks something and awakes some ancient magic or an ancient memory? That's why I was thinking this could be inside of a pensive, because remember what I was saying, like the things look like ice. So is that a part of this? Not really sure. But yeah, so I was looking at that, so that's why I was kind of thinking maybe this could be a part of a pensive, or the inner workings of a pensive. I don't know. But I like the way it looks. It looks very beautiful and magical. And the fact that Chuck Myers, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, when he was saying that the ancient magic theme is like a relative of the Hagwin's theme, I love that so much. I thought that was such a beautiful nod to the original music with Christopher Columbus working on it. I forget who the actual writer of the music is. I could have just said his name, but I don't remember all those little details like that. Like I told you, I love Harry Potter. I love the movies, but there's just a lot of stuff I just, it goes over my head because there's a lot of information on Harry's world. But I like how that was just like a love letter to the original theme that everybody knows, the Hagrid theme. The moment you hear it, it's like that this is Harry Potter, and I put it in some of my videos. They got copyright strikes on them, but I put that music in there when I was doing my first few videos with Harry Potter stuff in it. And it's just such a beautiful theme, and it just makes it feel more like Harry Potter's world, or the Wizarding world, depending on how you want to look at it or word it. But again, I just love it, and I just love this right here. So good. And look, you get to see it bubbling up like a cauldron. So that's why I was thinking this was tied in with ancient magic. And then this you see here, this area here where Sebastian's dark legacy. This looks like the area that you walk into, because you see the candle where the guy is behind you, your other fellow Slytherin classmate. And then also check out the Aura Division Sly. His video will also be in the video description as well. He did an amazing 30-minute video talking about the possibilities of how dark Sebastian's legacy will go. And I really liked the things he touched on, the things he talked about. He brought up some really good points. I was thoroughly impressed, and I loved his outfit, by the way. So Sly, if you're watching, yes to you, honey. But his link will also be in the video description. Check it out if you haven't seen it already. It's so good, and it brings up a lot of good questions. Like I said, like it made me think, and it made me even more nervous for Sebastian, because I am so afraid he might do something that we can't undo, and we may not have a time turner to fix that shit. So I'm fingers crossed for Sebi and Anne, because I don't want to see them get hurt. And speaking of Sebastian, we got to see in the CCXP, there's a new trailer that, here it is on screen. I'm so sorry for the visual quality. Because this was filmed from someone else's phone, but we get to see more of that scene with him in the library with Peeves, and we see our character again with the new face model, which I think is absolutely, I love the faces in the character creator. But anywho, we get to see Sebastian talking with the librarian, and the librarian has like this smugness about her attitude that I don't like, but I appreciate, because it really drives the narrative. That basically I think it's the lady is talking to Sebastian about asking him who's here, what's going on, are you alone? And it seems like the headmaster is after our character, or Sebastian's character, and she mentioned something about Sebastian's uncle. And this made me say, oh, so the gentleman he's with is his uncle. So now it makes you say, okay, well, what happened to Sebastian's parents? Or maybe his parents, aren't there, and, his uncle works on the grounds of Hogwarts. So even though they are a pure-blooded wizarding family, maybe that's why he was able to get into Slytherin. Like, again, I think you have to be a pure-blood to get into Slytherin. But I think that's interesting that you get to see you know, the Sallow family legacy, you know, one of the persons works on the grounds, and, you know, while they live there, you know, he's taking care of Seb and his sister. So the question is what happened to the parents, and why is the sister living on the grounds? And that's why I think in the ASMR video that we got to see, you see the huts. So I think one of those houses belongs to Sebastian's uncle. If he's not the groundskeeper, or if he's not the teacher for magical beasts, then he lives on the grounds surrounding Hogwarts. And I think that's what the story might be telling us. But again, we won't know until we actually play the game, or we get a confirmation on who actually lives in that house. But again, I think it's within the grounds of Hogwarts. And I think basically his uncle is basically the Hagrid. I think he might be the groundskeeper. But let's continue. And again, I love this so much. So beautiful. Okay, let's move on. Oh, and you see the Infuri. And if you notice here, Sebastian's face looks a little different. They tweaked up his graphics, but because if you remember in the original video when he's like, you know, I can teach you Crucio, or I can cast it on you. And you see that part where his uncle's like, what have you two done? And you see this scene here. If you look, his face looks a little, like the graphics look like they got improved a little bit. Again, you could tell they're polishing up the graphics. And then everyone having this debate, speaking on this area here in that trailer, when you hear, you've made your choice. You know, I think that's his sister. And I think that might be her final moments if we're not able to save her. You know, if this fails, I think that might be her final words. Like, you made your choice to go this direction, and she might reject Sebastian because of it. So this actually could go really bad for Sebastian. So I just, my heart goes out to him, because even though I don't know what happens, but I feel really bad for him, and I don't know how this is gonna end. I don't think this will end well for him, but we'll see when we play the game, you know. And again, it's just, oh my god, I can't wait till we get more information on Natsai, because like I said, Natsai is my personal favorite of the companions or classmates that we get so far. Her and Ahmed, I don't know why I like those two so much, you know. I just think they're just interesting, and I want to know more about her time at Ouagadougou and just her as a character, and her mom that's a teacher there, you know. But the only character we really get a lot of information on is Sebastian, understandably so, because he has a really good storyline. And I'm just curious to know more about it, you know, and to know more about what happens in his story, but also Natsai as well. But let's continue. I've talked about this enough. And then this little thing here, it looks like this is a student with some type of hat or headdress, and it is very yellow. So clearly this person is a Hufflepuff. So I'm wondering, I think this might be the same area where you see, like, it looks like the character with Poppy. This might be an area where Poppy is, with a lot of magical beasts, where she's like, the little chicks wake up and she's like, what happens now? You know, I think this might be that area in the state of play, but I could be wrong. And this is the map that I was talking about earlier. Now, when we are with Fig and the area, I believe that's like a area underneath Hogwarts that you walk into, kind of like your mission room map. You see this here. So I think when you see all the stuff floating out, I think that is a precursor to this, but I could be wrong with the ancient magic stuff that you see. I think it is, because the way everything looks and the coloring. I think, you know, Professor Fig does a spell, wakes up the map and saying, this is your mission objective. And I think this might be our hub area outside of the room of requirement. Like, the room of requirement gives us everything we need, and our vivarium with our menagerie of beasts, and we're kind of catching up with our classmates. And then we go here to this map room to get our mission objective, so we kind of know where we need to go. Even though there will be a map in the game, but I think this might be like, okay, you need to go here, this is where you need to go for like missions. So I think this might be very story related, which would make sense, but that's my opinion. But I could be wrong though. So moving forward, this just looks so good. Like, this right here, this is worthy of wallpaper on your computer or on your phone. It's just that freaking beautiful. Like, look at that. And it invokes, for some reason, like a Christmas, like Christmassy kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to Disneyland during Christmas, but they just light up the park with all of the lights, and it looks so good. And that, when I saw that, it invoked that memory in my head. So I just think it's just really beautiful. So as you can see, clearly it's like a dome when you walk on top of it. And then of course, remember those mirrors that shift, and maybe those mirrors are portals to different places. I don't know. Maybe that's what happens after you do, when you see the main character touch the ancient magic flame and the mirror goes away. So maybe Gringotts, and they walk through and they did that and it's sealed up, and then they go into Gringotts that way. I'm not sure, but I think that might be it. And if you notice here, it looks like this might be like an entranceway, like stairs that leads down or up. So that's why I think this might be somewhere underground, but I'm not entirely sure. And it looks like there's more to it, because as you can see, there's more stuff in the background here. So this might be another bridge or staircase going down. I'm not entirely sure, but I am excited on exploring this and seeing where this will take us. Another just incredible and beautiful scene. I have a theory about Natsai. Everyone thinks that when you play as Natsai, when you do her mission, that's when you're able to get on the mounts. That might be it. That might be it. But we are gonna have a teacher who works with us on Magical Beasts. You know, I mean, maybe we won't. I don't know. I think what's gonna happen is that we're gonna be able to ride High Wing after this scene. I think that's what I think is going to happen in this scene. But I think what Natsai is going to do, because remember, she comes from Wagadu. If she doesn't teach you wandless magic, she may be the teacher for transfiguration, even though we will have a transfiguration teacher. But I think she's going to be the one that teaches us wandless magic or self-transfiguration, because in Wagadu, they're able to transfigure themselves into animals. So that might be it. But I mean, it would make sense that you might be able to get a mount from her. But to me, because again, it's a magical beast and that ties so heavily in with Poppy, I think Poppy might be the one that would do that, along with the centaurs. Or maybe Poppy's area is to help you become friends with centaurs. You know, that's what I'm thinking, but I'm not fully sure. But I don't think Natsai's mission is solely to get us to ride a mount. I think, you know, we're gonna learn things about her, and as we develop our friendship, she's gonna say, hey, I'm gonna teach you some stuff from Wagadu. We taught ourselves how to change into you know, basically they're animagi, you know, they're animagus, so where they can turn into animals. So I think she might teach you that, but I could be wrong if it's not wandless magic. But I digress. This right here is really good. It's really beautiful, and I'm wondering, is this a part of the game? You know, when you see in the initial state of play and you see the character, you know, go Lumos and the moon is behind them. I'm wondering if that's a part of that section of the game. And I'm wondering, is this a part of the opening of the game? So I'm just curious what this scene right here is supposed to represent. And sorry if I shook the camera, what this is supposed to tell us. But I love that you get to see the owlry with all of the owls. And, you know, again, it's just so beautiful, so good. And then this right here, like I said earlier, with that statue of Morgana, this is the area where I think you run into Poppy Sweeting. I think this is kind of like Poppy's area, where you run into Fantastic Beast. And remember, she said, oh, what happens now? When you saw that scene earlier with the kid with the super yellow hair or turban or whatever, I think that's all connected with this that you're seeing right here. But again, I could be wrong, but this looks like that area. And I think this again is Lady Morgana. And the reason why I think this might be Lady Morgana, because remember, she was also an animagus, animagi, where she could turn into an animal, and her animal shape was a bird. So I think this might be why we see this area and why we see birds. I forget what those little birds are called, the pink birds, are hatching in this area. So, you know, we'll see. where you ride the grap horn and you bulldozer over the goblins and the dark wizards in this area, where you see the kid open the bag and the beast jumps out. And you'll remember that's the same bag the kid uses when they open it and they pull in, you know, the moon calves, the little beautiful moon animals that have magical dung. So I think that is a part of that. I mean, that is a part of that. What am I saying? I'm losing my train of thought. I need coffee. But yeah, I think this is a part of that area. And again, I love the time of day, and I can't wait to experience the day and night cycle, even though it's not story related. But the fact that they just have an ongoing day and night cycle, I think is really cool. And I think that's very beautiful. And I wonder, I think this is the Black Lake here, and I'm wondering, because you can see these openings here. So I wonder if we jump off, and let's just say we jump off and just fall into the water, will we start swimming, or will we automatically be taken out of the water by the giant squid in the water? I'm just curious. Or will it be like a "you died here" kind of moment if we don't jump on our broom in time? So I'm just loving this. Let's continue. You get to see more of this. Looks like the summertime ASMR, where again, this is more like one of the villages within Hogsmeade, and you get to see, like, it looks like the water turner. I think that's what that looks like, but I could be wrong. And it looks like you see little homes here. It looks very quaint and very like cozy. Like I would just get lost walking in this area and be like, wait, what mission was I on? Like I said on Twitter, see, everybody else is gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Hogwarts Legacy, I'm gonna be a badass wizard, ancient magic, let's go. Me, I'm gonna be surrounded by magical bees, pretending I'm a fucking Disney princess and singing, yes, singing while I'm doing it. Because I have problems. But anywho, let's continue. This right here, I think, is a precursor to the winter ASMR that I think they're working on. Because when you see all this here, it looks so good, and it makes you think about Christmas time at Hogwarts. It just looks so good. And you see all the little trees, and you can see everything in the difference. You can see the owlry yet again. So I think this might be a precursor to that. And since you guys liked my autumn ASMR so much, would you like to hear me do a winter, more Christmas themed ASMR? You know, like I said, it was my first time doing it, and I was shocked at the responses to people, the number of views as well as the comments. So many people really like what I did. So yeah, so like I said, that will be in the video description, so check it out. And if you like it, great. If not, you know, thanks for watching. If you decide to do that. But yeah, like again, I just love this attention to detail. I love the way it looks. It just makes me feel so happy. Now, and just, right here. I'm just gonna leave it here. I don't think there's anything else, and yeah, it just ends. But like I said before, watching this gave me so many different feelings, you know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this. You know, I remember reading Harry Potter when I was 13 years old in junior high. I believe that's when I read the very first Harry Potter. And I remember reading the second Harry Potter when I was 15, and that was some years later. And each time I read the Harry Potter books as a kid, you know, it made me feel like I wasn't such an oddball, you know, being a black kid, you know, of the LGBT community growing up in the 90s. You know, Harry Potter made me feel, just like reading the X-Men, made me feel like I wasn't such a weirdo after all. You know, I don't know why those things are so heavily tied in with Harry Potter and myself. You know, maybe just during the time period I was growing up in. And then, you know, watching the movies. And when I watched those, the first two movies, I believe I watched in theater. And I watched them with my wife at the time. Well, at the time, she and I were children, so she was a friend and later on became my girlfriend. And then, of course, today, my wife. You know, and all the memories that tied in with that, you know, for me, and hearing this music, for me, it invokes so many happy, joyful memories of living in the Unwritten at that time, being a kid, and just having so many possibilities, you know, ahead of you. and then to hear that music and to have those feelings and to see my life where it is today, where the ink is dried, but yet there's still so much unwritten in my life in the future, you know, ahead, especially with this wonderful game. And I don't know, it just that's why I'm sorry, I couldn't do that. Like I said, I did a real reaction when I got up and I just watched it, and I just cried because it was so many good feelings and also very sad feelings, and it was just so beautiful. And I don't know, do you guys kind of have that experience watching, you know, Harry Potter movies or hearing this music? I want to know how you guys felt about this music video, because I absolutely adored it. I thought it was just so well put together, so beautiful, and I cannot wait to play it and just hear this music in the background. You know, it's gonna be so much fun. But that is the video, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to do this breakdown and talk about it and have this conversation with you all. I hope this didn't bore you. But anywho, you know, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And I don't know why I didn't say this earlier, this is how you know I'm tired, that my channel is now at 400 subscribers. So yay! I'm so excited. You know, onward and upward. That's all we can do from here. And what I want to say is to all of the existing subscribers who have been with me since I started my channel in 2020, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for continuing to watch my content. I hope you've been enjoyed for the years that I've been on YouTube, even though I'm still new and I'm learning so much. And then also welcome and hello to the new subscribers who have joined my community, or joined our community, better to speak. Or better to say, you know, I hope that you enjoy your time here, that I continue to make content that you enjoy with Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil, and everything else I do on my channel. Stay tuned, because the Callisto Protocol is getting ready to go up on my channel. I did a very fun little intro like I always do when I do Let's Plays. Yeah, and you know, I just hope you guys continue to have fun. You know, and that's the most important thing you do when you're on this channel, is have fun, enjoy this content, and we can have fun and educated and wonderful discussions about gaming and Harry Potter and everything else that we do on this channel. But again, thank you all so much, because I couldn't have gotten here without you, and I can't wait to see us as we cross the finish line into 1,000 and beyond, because I look forward to doing that and going on this journey with you as we live the Unwritten. But anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below, do everything I said before, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Remember to live, think, and dream big, and choose love over fear. And with all that said, my mischief has been managed, and because I'm corny as fuck, Lumos, no, wait, Nox.